So almost like a year, or if not more than, after Nu Wazubia left Honest Bunch podcast, he finally decided to share his own side of the story, the reason why he left the podcast. You know, when he left, I think that was last year, I mean last 2 years, I don't know. Everybody actually thought that, oh, they sacked him. That was the story that we heard at that time. The whole thing started after D1 went to the podcast, talked about Very Dark Man, and for some reason, instead of people to come at D1, who went to the podcast to tell stories, to say whatever he said, they came at Nedu. At that time, it looked like a personal vendetta to me, because at the end of the day, D1 wasn't the only person that's ever gone to the podcast to discuss someone. But they came at Nedu instead, which later led to the podcast dropping him. But for some reason, Nedu is out to tell us that what we saw on the media was actually small. That wasn't the main reason he left. And he has shared his own side of the story. And I found out that what made Nedu to leave that podcast is something that causes problem between business partners, families, friends that were once very close. What made Nedu to leave that podcast actually, in fact, let's listen to him first. I'll drop my opinion.
I'm going to say this for the very first time. A lot of pretty much every Nigerian thought I left because of what happened that last year, but that wasn't why I left. Now, I started Honest Bunch. I didn't start Honest. I wouldn't say I started. It wasn't called the Honest Bunch. So when I started the podcast, I was on radio. I needed an outlet where I can talk, could talk and say my mind. Yeah. So I went to the person that was running the place. His name is Best. So I called him because he was a former staff of Cool FM then. So I went there. Sat down. I called him, so we agreed to meet on a particular day. So the day I was going, the guy that was working with me then, Chukudi, I told him to come with me, and there was another guy, Austin. Shout out to him. He lives in the UK now. So we went there together. So we sat down. So I told him this was my idea. This is what I want. And I said, okay, how do we do it? I said, how it's going to work is you have a production house, you have all the cameras, you have all the team. My own is just come and sit down and talk.
But you had the idea.
Yeah, yes, I had the idea. So we went there. And I said, okay, let's do it 50-50. So we shook hands. Anything that comes is 50-50. You keep 50, I keep 50. The only thing I wasn't collecting money from the YouTube earnings. I didn't think I needed it because I know they needed to pay salaries for those that are working, so I didn't collect it. If money was coming from any other this thing, I didn't care. The only place I was collecting money from was from sponsorship or maybe some episode that people paid for. You understand? I collected money from it. You get me?
But this was a gentleman's agreement.
It was a gentleman's agreement. No documents. So that was where I made the mistake. Okay. That was where my error started. You understand? So we got there. It was called Frankly Speaking then. Yes. So while we were doing it, it was going well. We got there, it was supposed to be me and Chukudi. And there was this girl that was working with me at it home. So she was an intern on my show on radio. I was like, I'm going to start something. Come with me. Let's go. You can be the girl on it. So that was how I employed her on the show and added Chukudi on the show. So there was this intelligent lady that was at Cool FM before, Naomi. Crystal, so she was working at Glitch then, and I was like, Naomi, and she could talk, so she was on the episode. So from the way she spoke on the episode, we thought, okay, just go stay for the episode. That was how she joined the episode. So it was now 2 ladies and 2 guys.
So you were actually crucial and integral in
bringing I brought everything together.
So you came with the idea, you came with the people.
Yes.
But the people that you're collaborating with, the production
company,
they handled production.
They handled production. They handled the cutting of the teasers. They handled everything. It was posted on their platform, so that was not a problem for me. So I just felt, okay, when they put something on our platform, you people should get something as well. So that was why I wasn't asking for some other things, just other things that was coming.
Can I ask you a question before you go forward? Why did you feel like you didn't want to, sign any contracts, or?
I didn't think of it. Not that I didn't want to. Would I say I was naive?
Beyond that, do you have a personal relationship
I don't think it's you being naive.
Do you have a personal, sometimes when you're like
just be exactly, you know me.
Because for me, I also have some business deals with people who, I have a friend, Frank, we've been doing everything together from university days.
And that's the personal relationship I'm talking about.
No, we've done transactions in millions for over 10 to 15 years.
So
we've never signed.
There's a history, there's a relationship there.
So, and there are other people like that too. Right. I have a very good relationship with Ezekiel Adamu, Bamura. We've never signed anything. Is Wemouth and it is Bamura. Waymark needs this, and it's been like that. The synergy has been like that for several years, from 2016 to date. So I don't. We should not use because people are bad to now blame somebody that is intentionally that you ought to be good.
I think what Marianne was trying to figure out was there an existing relationship
Yeah,
before
we were colleagues at Cool FM.
Okay.
So he was a colleague.
Element of trust
Yeah, there was some sort of an element. It's like me. There's somebody I can never be scared of doing something with tomorrow. It was somebody that was in Cool FM as well. Triumph.
Okay.
Tyrone. Tyrone. I can never be scared of him. You understand? Because if Tyrone wants us to do something,
You're with him.
I'm with him.
Writing.
I wouldn't think of
Got you.
if he calls me, if Waymark calls me, I wouldn't be thinking of contracts. There's a lot of people you can't think of contracts. I just now my person be this. Let's go ahead and do it. But one thing you must never, you must always put at the back of your mind is how you see people is not necessarily how they see you.
Yeah. True.
So we started going on. I'm just gonna wrap it up a bit. Then there's some lady that was doing some Big Brother thing. Now claimed that we were using her name, frankly speaking, with something Gloria or whatever.
Okay.
And then she now was fighting us on the name. So the change of the name now became eminent. We now changed it to The Honest Bunch.
Okay.
You understand? And then we went on. Now, that show was carried on my back, whether I like it or not.
So
Okay.
can I sorry, at the point where they wanted to change the name, because of course now more than ever they will need to register it.
Yes.
During the process of all of that registration, were you involved in the documentation?
I was not involved. They didn't tell me anything. We just chose the name and they went ahead with the registration. Now, I didn't know. My own, I say, we don't change them, we don't register them.
Got you.
When they were dragging me like Tiger Generator last year for something that I was 150% innocent of, with some people there around, they know everything. I'm not going to mention names. They said something. Nedu, we're going to put out a statement that we're suspending you from the show. In my head, I'm like, so what now? Show where I get. You want to suspend me? They crazy? Yeah, we
Give landlord quick notice.
They give landlord quick notice. Are you guys mad? So I was in Enugu for a job. So we got on a call. It was me, my management team then. Both of them, they were on the call. So when they said that thing in that meeting, we're going to put out that we're suspending you. And then one of the management team now said, wait, Nedu, for this person to say that they are going to put out a suspension, what's your arrangement with this thing? And I said, did you people sign a contract? And I said, no. I said, there it is.
That's where
Then the next day, they now did search at CAC. Now found out that when they were registering the Honest Bunch, they registered it as 100% their product.
Oh.
I didn't want to leave. I was going to wait for it to die down.
Yeah.
But when I saw that one that they registered it as 100% their product, I'm like, no. Let me say, I'm not fit. But the truth is they threw me under the bus. That's how I see it.
You feel like they threw you
That's
under
how
the
I
bus?
felt.
Why do you feel
Because I mean, if you can tell yourself the truth, every time anything trended about that show, it was me they were insulting.
Yes.
Whether I was there
You
or
took
not.
it. Took it.
I took the whole
in fact,
bullet.
It was called Nedu Podcast.
It was called Nedu's podcast. So because I was saying the truth every time, I was saying what I felt, what I knew. So it was always about me. Even when I'm not there, episode where I'm not there, I made them go still insult. So I felt the show grew on my back.
Yes, it did.
So the show that grew on my back, when it was now time for you guys to fight for me,
Yeah.
you didn't. You rather say,
And when you left and they saw that it wasn't working as it used to, that was when they were trying to reach out to you
Yes.
to come back.
Yes.
Not because
So there was
they
a moment
wanted
of
you.
pause.
There was a moment of pause. No,
Not because they want to fight
But
you
even
or
if they want
support
him
you.
back,
It was
now
simply their
that they now
selfish
have
interest.
that audience, was there any contract, something they were offering to have
nothing.
you back?
Were there any issues behind the scenes between you and other hosts of the show?
No.
One. And also the production house, because it seems very, very bizarre to me
Yes.
that they would so easily disperse of the cash cow.
They're a production company, and I'm sure the person that's running it is not just the person there. There are other people that are partners.
Yes.
Maybe they must have sat down. Oh, let him go. You can't control him. He's a wild goose. He's this. He's that. So there was no, to the best of my understanding, there was no issue of any sort. If they had against me not know.
Now, it's obvious a whole lot of things happened behind the scene. Entirely different from what we saw on the media, because what we saw on the media was, he was sacked, they don't drop and blah, 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 and blah. I'm not even concerned about other things that happened, but I want to talk about the part where Nedu said it was a gentleman's agreement. He didn't sign a contract. That's why I said it is something that has broken families, friends, business associates. Never you in your life No matter who that person is to you, you are starting up a business that you know has potential to become very big. Never start such a business without written agreement. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Open your ears. Never start such a business without a written document that contains how the business is going to be run, the expenses, the profit, how the profit is going to be shared. Even though you are starting out that business with your husband, or you are starting out the business with your wife, or with your sibling, or with your closest friend, or even with your parents, there should be an agreement how everything is going to be run. Do not allow familiarity overcloud your sense of reasoning. You know why? Once money starts coming in, there is bound to be disagreement. You might start the business on a very friendly note. Oh, like this, my family is my friend, blah, blah, blah. Because you have not started seeing money. You have not encountered any form of, temptation or something. Nothing has happened to shake you to the core. Do you get my point? But once it happens, that's when you begin to see different things. So what am I saying? Before you start up a business, I don't care who that person is. Even now, I advise women, I advise men. Before you build a house with your husband, or before you build a house with your wife, there should be an agreement. If you guys are going to put your money together to build that house, when you want to put your name on the document, it should not be Mr. and Mrs. because you're husband and wife. Now, you are not doing that because you feel like, in the nearest future, there's going to be disagreement. My marriage is going to break. No, that's not the reason you are doing. Because when we say these things, a lot of people tend to think, Naomi, are you saying that there will be divorce tomorrow? No, that's not what we are talking about. That's not what we're talking about. Unforeseen circumstances can happen. People can buy. You see, we've seen scenarios where men will buy and the man's family will come in. They want to come and take the properties away from the wife and the children. You guys will not tell me that you have not seen things like that. You have not heard. We have seen on the media, we come across things like this on a daily basis, even in real life. A man will buy, the family of the man, the husband, they will come in and say, if the woman doesn't give birth at all, or maybe she gave birth, she didn't give birth to men. We know how families perceive male children in Africa. They want to come in and say, because they want to come and flex their muscle over the property that you suffered and built or bought with your husband. Those are the things. Those are the things we are talking about. Those are the unforeseen circumstances. It's not even divorce. Divorce is the least of it. Divorce is the least of it. And then we also have to consider divorce. Just in case anything happens and another woman want to come in or another man want to come in and, inherit everything you worked for. That you are in a marriage does not mean you must be stupid or you must be a slave. Now, I'm just using marriage as an instance, as that one what we are talking about. But I'm just trying I'm trying to emphasize the importance of having a written document. No matter who you are doing that business with, let there be a document hanging somewhere, just in case. That's the mistake that Nedu made. It was a gentleman's agreement. Oh, okay, we'll do one like this. If you just do like this, we'll come just do one like this. We'll come just do one like that. No worry, everywhere go good. Alpha, okay, that's what we'll do and business start. Don't do that. That will be the greatest mistake of your life. Remember this same thing broke Mackenzie comedy. Remember how Dennis Inigwe even went to this same Honest Bunch podcast to tell the whole world how Mackenzie cheated him on their agreement. Why? Because at that time it was a gentleman's agreement. There was no written agreement, and there was no written document to back it up. So even though Dennis Inigwe would have dragged Mackenzie to court so that he would compensate him or any other person, where is the written agreement to back it up? Nothing. This thing, gentleman agreement, we shake hand, we don already arrange am as e go be. It has broken families. It has broken siblings. War go come happen between siblings. Do you get my point? You are abroad, you are sending money to your senior brother or your senior sister or any of your family relatives to help you build something. Written agreement, your transfer history. As you dey transfer, they put the reason why you dey transfer am. They write the date, everything, be saving it, document it somewhere so that if the need arise, you will have something to tender. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. Do you get? We are not here to talk about whether there was gang up somewhere. That don't concern us. It don't pass, it don't pass. Everybody is doing well as far as I'm concerned. But in everything, we must learn a lesson. And this is the lesson when me don't pick from this whole matter. There should be something you will hold on to say, this was how it happened. At so time, this was what we said. This was the agreement. You cannot erase something that is written. Or even to say na video form, una fit do am. There are a lot of ways you can keep document these days. Video, write up, anything, picture, snap am, put am for ground, save am for somewhere. No be only money that they save for bank. All this thing you fit carry am go bank, go save am, make e dey there. Just in case you go bring am come out. I hope you learn a lesson o.